So first off, new microphone, pretty awesome. New mustache, even more awesome. But yeah, let's get into the information about this gluten experiment. So about 8 months ago, I decided to start eating bread for breakfast every day. I made my own bread from just yeast, water and flour. Super simple. It was pretty tasty, but also it was like, it's just bread. I've been eating it my whole life, and you know, it wasn't that exciting really. The reasons for me doing that is complicated, and I'm not going to go into it. Just know that it was a kind of an experiment. So my first kind of initial thoughts and feelings was, oh my god, this is so crazy. I haven't been eating bread or anything as processed as that in many years, so it felt almost like I was doing this anti-health thing, but it needed to be tried, and it was a fun experiment. I'm gonna tell you why I quit doing it in a little while, but first I just want to go over the initial experiences I had. First off, it was dry. Duh. I was used to eating like a large volume of juicy fruit for breakfast. Maybe it was a banana smoothie, and then suddenly I was just eating bread with jam. That was basically what I was eating, just strawberry jam. So yeah, it was dry. It was low volume. It took a reasonable amount of time to eat, maybe like 10 minutes. I was finished with the breakfast. It sat in my stomach more dense than what bananas do, and certainly more dense than something like peaches or nectarines, which in one way was kind of nice, because I was used to going to the gym and working out with a belly full of like really full of smoothie or whatever. And that's okay, but I do enjoy having a smaller amount of food in my stomach when I'm working out, at least. So that was a pro, I guess. The second pro is that it was very reliable in terms of calories. I always knew how many calories was in the meal, because it was so... it's not like other fruits where you can eat a kilo of peaches, but it might be 400 calories and it might be 700 calories if they're really good. So more reliable, easier to kind of predict my energy levels, etc. And it felt fairly good. I'm not going to say it felt great, but you know, it digested fairly well. Second experience was pretty much when I went to the toilet. Things weren't as flowing as usual, if you know what I mean. Not that they should be flowing, but I think you know what I mean. Gluten is some really sticky stuff, and it shows. So that wasn't really great. There's also the possibility that it kind of slowed down my digestion a little bit, which made all the other food kind of stay in my stomach for a longer time, or rather in my whole system, which kind of made everything smell a little bit more, which isn't something I'm really used to. Now, let's get on to the big problem that I had with eating gluten, and that is eczema, strangely. When I was young, as a child, I struggled with eczema on my arms here and other places as well. My whole childhood was just terrible. I had rashes all over the place, and it itched crazily. I was red all over, and terrible. We had no idea what caused it. I tried all sorts of creams, went to the doctor, etc. But no one ever asked me maybe if I had any problems with gluten. And apparently I do. As you can see in this video here, this was taken about 4 or 5 months after I started the experiment, I think. You can see on my hands that I have this kind of rash. That is where my eczema broke out this time. Extremely itchy, and I thought it was just the winter being especially cold and hard, and it might have helped, but it was certainly something weird going on. And I was also getting it on the backside of my knees. So I went to the doctor. I had my blood checked, And no surprise, I did not have celiac disease, which I would have had more issues if that was the case. But I did have the 2 genes that you need to have to develop celiac disease. So that's interesting. I believe my father has one of the genes, and my uncle has celiac disease. So it's obviously something going on in the family. Now it's important to note that gluten sensitivity can be much more than just celiac disease. I don't know the details, I haven't looked into it that much, but I believe there are many types of gluten sensitivity, and some people claim everyone is affected by it to some degree. How it affects your life, that might depend, but it certainly affected mine. So as time went on and the eczema was just there and being terrible, I decided, okay, I gotta try stopping to eat bread. And so I did. I went over to different foods, and 3 days later my eczema was completely gone. And I need a lot of convincing to believe in something, but it was fairly convincing evidence, I would say. I might try it again in a few years, but I certainly think I'm really affected by the gluten at this point. So does that mean I can't eat gluten now and then? No. I've had a pizza maybe like a couple of times after that. It's been about 4 months, I think now, off gluten. Maybe more, I'm forgetting. Maybe less, I don't know. And I've had no issues with the pizza at that time. So this seems to be something that kind of builds up over time. But yeah, my point with this video is really just to share my experiences eating bread, and to kind of tell you guys that even though you don't have celiac disease, there might be other issues that you're unaware of as long as you're eating gluten. And you know, gluten can be found in many grains, mainly wheat, rye and barley. Should have checked that first, but you know, Google it, I'm sure you know. There's also many products that has gluten in them that, you know, shouldn't have. So does that mean gluten is, you know, the devil? Unlikely, but more people might be reacting to it than we think. And it's certainly something to keep in mind if you're having some sort of issues, whatever it might be. Gluten can cause a whole load of different strange things in people. Some people might not react at all, many people maybe, but it's worth, you know, having in your mind. You know, if you want private health coaching, Michael is really good at it, and you can go to our website at sweetnaturalliving.com and sign up for the coaching option that best suits you. Other than that, we have a monthly newsletter and all kinds of cool stuff. So check that out. Hope you liked the video, and yeah, I'll be enjoying the day, even though it is raining. Well, thanks for watching, and goodbye.